Hello everyone, up close and personal with you guys today. If you haven't seen the market today, the SPY is at 413 again. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at what the next steps are for the market. Are the tech stocks going to continue skyrocketing based off of this AI hype? Are the bank stocks going to be able to find a bottom and really bounce very dramatically? What is going to help propel the market up? Are we going to hit 420? Are we going to hit 400? What's going to come from? So in today's video, I'm going to try to give you guys my thought process for the next steps in the market. If you guys enjoy this content, please make sure to like, subscribe, put on the bell notification. And without further ado, let's get started with the video. First and foremost, I have absolutely no idea why I didn't make myself bigger to begin with over here and adjust the size to start speaking. I also I just never dawned on me that I could have anything as a background. Right now I'm swimming. Like I'm in the ocean. So this makes things a lot of fun. All right, so yeah, let's get started. All right, let's start looking at some important news in the stock market today. So number one, Amazon plans to add ChatGPT style search to its online store. So it plans to bring ChatGPT style product search to its web store, rivaling efforts by Microsoft and Google to weave generative artificial intelligence into their search engine. So the e-commerce giant's ambitions appear in recent job postings reviewed by Bloomberg News. So basically, they're trying to reimagine Amazon search with an interactive conversational experience designed to help users find answers to questions, compare products, and receive personalized suggestions. So I'm assuming people are going to be able to type at the top on Amazon, find me a stroller for my child that weighs 15 pounds, that has 5-star reviews, is below this price, and has strong wheels. So I guess they're going to be able to type certain things like this out, prompts, and then Amazon is going to spit out the products based off of those searches. So that's actually pretty smart, because what Microsoft and Google now, right? Because both of them have their own basically AI service. So on ChatGPT, what you were able to do was you were able to look for products, and then they would tell you the names of those products, and then you could get those products from Amazon. So instead of using ChatGPT to direct you to those products, Amazon is basically just allowing people to do that on their own website, which is pretty good, actually. This should definitely help. And so the main reason why this is very, very huge is because Amazon uses AWS, and their cloud, basically, to generate this amount of searches takes a lot of money. Okay, so when people are using ChatGPT, for example, oh, give me this amount of this, the more time you use ChatGPT, it costs money. Amazon owns basically their own cloud computing service, so they can cut down on costs dramatically with this product because they don't need to upscale themselves. They can. It's really, really devastating. It's actually really, really smart, because they have these piece of craps. They have the foundation to build whatever they're trying to do here, because they have the cloud computing power. So it's actually a really, really good move by them, in my opinion. So that is actually going to be pretty fun. The other thing, not as important, but WhatsApp, obviously, Meta, Facebook owns WhatsApp. So WhatsApp will allow users to lock and hide conversations. And basically, it's going to be held behind a password. And in the locked chats, the only way you're going to be able to access these chats is to sign in with a password. So yeah, that should be fun as well. Next, there were quite a few 13F reportings that happened today and were released. So we got a lot of news. Basically, what that shows is the prior quarter, what people were buying and selling, like a change in their portfolio. So large companies, for example, Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, Michael Burry, Bill Ackman, etc., etc. So we saw a change in their portfolios quarter over quarter. So it's not easy to visualize right now. Hopefully tomorrow there will be articles written about it so we could like look at them together. But for now, on Google, Bill Ackman bought 10 million shares of Google during quarter one. And for Apple, Warren Buffett bought 20 million shares of Apple during Q1, bringing their total shares to 900 million shares in Apple. Yeah, no, sorry, that was the wrong number. I just checked. Not 900 million shares. 900 million total dollar value. So almost $1 billion worth of Apple shares. Not 900 million shares. But yeah, Warren Buffett and Bill Ackman are buying the dip basically on these large tech stocks during Q1. So a bit unrelated, and this is more of my thought process of what's going on. But Netflix creates movies, right? And if they are working with AI technology, because there's already technology where you can type and it'll create a movie. So if Netflix, I don't think Netflix or investors or anything have priced that in yet on Netflix, but buying leaps far out the money on Netflix can be very, very good, because I don't think Netflix has priced this in, but literally you can type something out. You could type a script and the graphics and everything will be perfect. So I would give that technology maybe another year and a half. So for theta decay, etc., you would have to buy leaps 3 or 4 years down the line, or you could just buy shares. But this is something that is very, very interesting, actually, because I'm very, very surprised. I would have to look at like the holdings to see if people have bought into Netflix during Q1 that they didn't already hold shares of Netflix, and if people are also looking at this as a potential trade in the future, because it's just going to save a lot of money. Basically, if they don't have to pay actors, they don't have to pay for costs for the set, etc., etc., typing up a movie script and then generating an entire movie it's much cheaper than hiring a director, hiring every little detail of like a movie set, makeup, everything. You save a lot of money. So that should really skyrocket Netflix as well. Actually, that's actually really, really interesting. So I would definitely look into that. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on that as well. But now, moving forward, this brings us to the chop that we have today. So we're continuing to chop. We've been in this range for the past few weeks, and you can clearly see the SPY is just waiting to get some sort of a breakout or breakdown. The IWM is at a level of support, hoping to try to get a bounce and some relief in the banks and the whole big banking crisis, right? And we have the NASDAQ now. Okay. We have the NASDAQ at the upper range of this rising wedge, acting as resistance. So there's a lot going on. And so before going in depth about like the indices, what's most important is we have to look at why the NASDAQ is showing this much strength. And it's primarily due to a lot of these tech stocks. So for example, Nvidia, you can clearly see has an uptrend channel. Came to this uptrend, bounced perfectly off of it, and now it's starting to look very, very bullish, because this setup that's going on right now is exactly what bulls needed. Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts. No bias here. This setup for these stocks that I'm about to show you, Nvidia specifically, is exactly what bulls needed. So now you can clearly see we came back, retested this uptrend. The MACD is oversold. So there's a lot of firepower still left on the MACD to cross above. And we know that if the MACD crosses above, that is a very bullish sign. And we have not even yet crossed above. And we're already bouncing off support. So This is very, very bullish. If Nvidia can hold 286, 286.50, then this is going to continue flying. And this move was exactly what was needed. If tomorrow we get a pullback, retest of the trend line and move up, that is actually even crazier. But there's Nvidia. Now, AMD had a bounce today as well. So we shorted it, all right? It worked out. But today, it had a very, very big bounce. And the strength out of the chips still there. So AMD's MACD is overbought. Whereas Nvidia's blue MACD line was down here. We're looking for, cross above, right? AMD's is above it. And so it's moving down, yet the price of AMD is still moving up. So that is showing a lot of buying pressure. And clearly there is a lot of buying pressure because AMD's price shot up over 20% in the past in 6 days, in 6 trading days, it moved up over 20%. So obviously there's a lot of buying pressure. That's why we can see this with the MACD here. But currently, AMD's move is a bit too aggressive. So the reason why I say that is generally, right, when you want to have is so all right, so it's tough to explain, but basically there should have been a bit more of a steeper pullback or a longer hold a bit before we skyrocket up. That's the only thing that I see out of AMD. I would be very, very shocked to see if we close above these highs on AMD tomorrow. If we break above 100 and close above 100 tomorrow, that is very, very weird price action, and it generally never really happens. And the other thing that I want to show you guys is it's because I don't think something like this can sustain itself to the upside because of a situation like this. So we saw a big move to the upside, right? Clearly another big move to the upside. Had a bit of a top, had a pullback, right? And then this next leg up. So this next leg up. So that's basically about where we're about to get. And you can notice that on AMD prior, this happened in a very short period, just a few days. And also a very similar situation. We shot up very substantially in a very short amount of time. And even if we did make another leg up, right, which we did, we made another leg up. We clearly, technically we closed above levels of resistance, we held a level of support, right? But because this next leg up happened so close to the original move, right? Usually something like this should take a few days or it should fall down much more. And we hit our price target, but it should take a few more days. We should not be breaking above 100 tomorrow or even the day after, because that would be way too much buying pressure, way too much overextension, and the buyers would get exhausted at that point. There needs to be some sort of period of consolidation, and you can see that we didn't get that here. We made another leg up, but this leg up was the top. When everything looked extremely bullish, this was the top. So, which is why I'm saying if tomorrow or the day after we get a break and close above 100 on AMD, then it's going to be very, very tiring for bulls to continue buying and keeping the price up. And at this point, around 103, if we get there, but above basically 102 to 105, that would be a really, really good. It would be kind of scary to see what would happen, but it would be a really good opportunity to go short. This is just from my lens of what I see happening right now. There should not be a huge move up, but the issue is that Nvidia looks very bullish, and we've seen prior that there could be another leg up, like we have seen before in AMD a few months ago. So yeah, there's that on the chips, right? So the chips obviously are showing a lot of strength. That's what I want to show, right? For example, with Apple is still pulling back. It's not showing a lot of strength. When we look at Microsoft and Google, they're still consolidating. They're both still consolidating. And a lot of this huge move on the NASDAQ happened due to the chips and the AI craze that's going on. So Microsoft and Google both were big reasons why the NASDAQ skyrocketed. And what's going on with Google and Microsoft is Google is failing to break above levels of resistance. Microsoft is consolidating, holding above at support. So neither of them are continuing to show a lot of strength. And that is not a great sign. Apple is also not showing a lot of strength. Amazon is also not showing a lot of strength. Tesla is also not showing a lot of strength. When you take a look at Facebook, it's not like breaking above any levels of resistance. So it's bouncing, but not breaking any levels of resistance. We can take a look at Netflix as honorable mention. But yeah, you can see that all of these stocks are not showing extreme strength. And when they are not showing extreme strength, that is not bullish. Even if they're holding support, the main reason why this continued up is because there was a lot of strength. And when that's not happening, that's not a good sign. So now, bringing it back to the NASDAQ, the Qs. We clearly see some strength coming out of Nvidia and AMD. All right, there's clear-cut evidence that we can continue up. If these other tech stocks that are showing weakness, for example, Apple, Netflix, and Tesla, if they can start showing some strength, if the chips can continue showing strength, Microsoft and Google don't need to do anything. They can just continue consolidating above that level of support, and the NASDAQ can move up. But the topping signal for this NASDAQ move is always going to be the weakness in the biggest winners. So that's my thought process. And that's the original reason why I also went short, is because the chips started to show some stagnation. So right now the chips, Nvidia is looking like it's about to explode to the upside. But if we get another leg up, that would put the NASDAQ probably above 330. And at that point, everyone would start going long. And that would be the best opportunity, in my opinion, to go short. Because once it becomes very blatantly obvious to take a direction in a trade, it's usually a good time to not. It's usually a good time to start taking the opposite. So that's my thought process. We just have to look at how everything is panning out. That's my thought process on the NASDAQ. If we break above this trend line here, then we have to look for a continued move to the upside. But for the sake of showing the levels for tomorrow, the level that we basically need to close above is 327.11. 327.11 is the upper level of this trend line. So we can clearly see that it's continuing to act as a level of resistance. 326.70, 326, and 327 are really major levels on the NASDAQ. So now when looking at the SPY, the level that we need to have, so we can, right now, we can clearly see that there is a downtrend on the SPY, right? And if we can break above that and start showing some strength, then yeah, we can start seeing 416, 417 again on the SPY. And that would also be predicated a lot by the strength in the NASDAQ and the tech stocks. So the level that basically needs to hold for tomorrow is 413, 412.80, 413. That area needs to hold as support. We need to close above that level to get a clean close above this downtrend. And then any resistance level that we close above, any downtrend level that we close above, any moving average that we close above or below, you're generally looking for 2 closes as a confirmation. So you, for example, like you want to see like a close above a moving average for a bullish move, you need to see 2 closes above that moving average for a continued move to the upside. So that's what we're basically going to be looking at for the NASDAQ and the SPY. 413 is that level for tomorrow on the SPY. And you can clearly see today, you know, we're still just consolidating here in this range. But for now, it looks like there are some buyers. But it's pretty ugly price action, to be honest. We have news coming out tomorrow morning, and we have the Fed meeting on Friday. So I guess, I mean, we could see some stagnation here until that meeting starts. But of course, to make it very, very simple, day trading wise, if we get a bullish open and we start seeing some sort of strength, unless we close, so once again, 413.50 to 414.50 has been acting as clean cut resistance. But this is starting to be a more bullish scenario here. Okay, so where we went short on Thursday, we went short on Friday, right? When we made the huge gains intraday, we went short Friday on this candle here, right? We opened, we gapped up, we opened. So clearly, like, oh, I thought we were going to be leaning bullish the entire day. No, because initially this setup on Thursday was not bullish. We went short. Now, this setup today is starting to look a bit more bullish. Also because the tech stocks and the chips are starting to look more bullish. So if tomorrow we gap up and we have a more bullish open, and if we're above 413.50 or 414.50, then that makes our job a lot more easier. If we can just gap up above, if we could just gap up above levels of resistance, that would make it easier. But those are the levels to the upside. Currently, this is looking like a bounce. They're looking like they want to make it bounce to around 414, 415. And again, they're not going to make it easy. If they're trying to make something look very bullish, they have to first make it look very bearish so that people can go short. And then they could squeeze, forcing those shorts to cover. So they don't want money sidelined. They want people to be invigorated with a position. And once people are invigorated to take a position, then they're also going to be forced to close that position. That ties their money into the market. They basically want money circulating in the market. And to provide either liquidity or extra fuel and fire to do whatever they want. So that is essentially what I'm looking at right now. Of course, if we fail here, then you know, obviously, then we just really show a lot of weakness and it's very bad. But this is one of the last ditch efforts that I think that bulls have here. And if they can't do this, then if they can't break it above 414 or 415 by Wednesday, I think, then and if we don't get a close above that, then this is just going to have a lot more room to fall to the downside. And we're going to break below 408 if that does not happen. So we have a few days left for us to make a move to the upside. If that doesn't happen, then we're going to see a very dramatic move to the downside, and we should see 400. We should see at least break below 408. And that's my thought process. Until then, right? Then we have the news. We have Powell's meeting on Friday. So yeah, things can be very fun. And that's my thought process. Just keep a lookout on the chips. Keep a lookout on Tesla and Apple. If Tesla, Apple, the biggest losers of these large tech stocks, can start to show some strength as well, then that'll be extra fuel as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a much longer video than usual. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I really appreciate your love and support. And please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you guys, you know, I'm interested to know what everyone else's thoughts are. If you think that the SPY is going to hit 400 or 420 first. So just comment below if you think the SPY is going to hit 400 first or if the SPY is going to hit 420 first. So yeah, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Hopefully my internet works and I don't have to hotspot. But today we day traded and made a lot of gains as well. So yeah, love you guys. Take care. Have a good one.